and turn the microphone over to Mr. Sean Stanford.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? So thank you, Chris. My name is Sean. I'm going to walk through some best practices first, and I'd like to keep it somewhat informal. So if you have a question at any time, throw up your hand. I'm happy to talk, and then if you guys want to talk anytime, you'll get my contact information. I'll hang out here for a few hours if you want. You'll learn that once I start talking popcorn, I really don't stop. So I'm happy to help you guys any way I can. As Chris said, we were actually brand new. We started June 1st of 2017, and my council's sale starts in mid-August. So we had 10 weeks to figure everything out. That's not a lot of time to get going. So the first thing I did was I built a team. I needed people to help me out because this sale's a lot of work. We're all volunteers. We all want to be martyrs, but you're going to burn yourself out. So I brought people together, and I tried to play to their strengths. I need to book a lot of storefronts, so I found a guy that was good at sales. You know, I'm going to have him go talk to these store managers because that's a sale. I get my Cub Master, tons of energy, a great cheerleader. She is in charge of all the front-facing popcorn stuff. She's going to get up on stage, get everyone excited. Right? We break up all these different roles depending on what the skill sets of the people are. And the best part is I actually get to pass down that knowledge. Eventually, you know, you get to the situation I'm in. I'm actually moving to a new unit. My boy's crossing over. I'm a little sad about it because I ran popcorn for 2 years in 2017. But because we had that big old team that we keep adding to every year, there's now a whole bunch of people that can carry on the sale without me. Right? They don't need me anymore. I've got 7 people now that have been a part of that sale. So I know the pack is going to be successful for years to come. Once we had our team though, what did we do? That first night we went out to dinner. We got a big table at this restaurant, some Italian place by us, and we just started talking. A plan. What is the plan? And really, what is the message? Our Cub Master was there, and she had done this research on the ideal year of scouting. The idea that you plan your whole scouting year, June through May, and she rolls out this big calendar, and she's got like Pinewood Derby and blue and gold, Christmas parties, service projects, campouts, all that stuff is on there. And I'm looking at all this stuff, more the analytical side, and adding up the cost of everything. And you know, she's talking about giving every scout a free Pinewood Derby car. There's no recharter fees and all that type of stuff. And I'm thinking, we don't even have a Pinewood Derby track. You add up all that stuff, it was going to cost us $350 or more for every scout to run that program. Advancements, awards, all that stuff. And that is just way too much money to ask of a family. So we decided to ask for nothing. Our whole program is free. Every camp out, there's no dues, there's no camping fees. We do a big banquet at Blue and Gold, that's free. Christmas party, same thing, it's free. All the campouts, awards, everything. We're going to pay for everything with popcorn. And to do that, all we need is every scout to go sell $1,000 of popcorn. Which at that meeting, we decided was no big deal. So I called my district popcorn colonel and found out that that's kind of crazy. You know, $1,000 is a lot of corn. And there's a couple of people on my team even that said, you know, that's a scary number. You know, one lady said, you know, that's, you know, almost a mortgage. And I realized that's intimidating. It's going to turn a lot of people off. But I know the average scout can go out there and sell $100 to $125 an hour. That means they'll get to that $1,000 in only 8 to 10 hours. That's, you know, 1 2-hour shift every weekend of the sale. That's doable when you break it down like that. So whenever I talk to my scout families, I never mention dollars. I talk about it in terms of shifts. 4 or 5 shifts, 8 to 10 hours. That's all you need to fund a year of scouting. All right, simple as that. And that is a message that my family's bought into. A whole year of scouting. And this is, you know, they're paying for sports and all these other activities. This is free. It's just 8 to 10 hours, 4 or 5 shifts to pay for their program. How do we do that? We book a lot of stores, work a lot of stores, but we do only 1 scout and 1 parent at our shifts. And there's a few reasons behind that. You got a bunch of scouts out there, a bunch of parents. The scouts end up goofing off more than selling. And the parents end up gossiping more than anything else, talking about, you know, the series finale of Game of Thrones or what have you. They're not focused on the sale. But 1 scout, 1 parent, they're focused on what they're doing. It gives, like with me, I had an opportunity to work with my son, who his first sale was literally attached to my hip, hiding half behind me because he was so scared and nervous. But it was a coaching opportunity for me. I used Skittles. And I told him if he stood in front of the table and he looked someone in the eye and he stuck to his script, and no matter what they said or did, he said, "Thank you, have a nice day," he'd get a Skittle. You know, our first shift, he didn't get that many Skittles. The second shift, once he picked up on it, he got a lot of Skittles. I had to, by the third shift, it's now, okay, you have to do 3 in a row, right? Then you can get a Skittle. By his fourth shift, he's like, "All right, man, how about this? We'll buy 1 bag and we split it," okay? Because he was just going on a sugar high because he got it at that point. But that's what it really is. It's that opportunity for that one-on-one experience where you get to coach your kid and how to, you know, break out of your shell a little bit. You know, approach someone and ask for their support. It's a great lesson. And you only get that when you get that one-on-one experience. And the other reason we do that, one scout, one parent, is pure math. If you have one scout out there, they need to do about $100, $125 an hour to stay on track to hit their goals. That's only 6 sales an hour. That's sustainable. You put 2 or more scouts out there, the sales may go up a little bit, but now you split that out, they're down to 60, 70 bucks an hour. You put 4 scouts out there, they're down to $35, $40 an hour. They're not gonna hit their goals, they're not gonna get big prizes, they don't see the value, so they stop signing up for the shifts. All right, but as long as you keep it about 100 bucks an hour in sales, they're gonna see the value, they're gonna see the return, and so is the unit. So that's something we really focus on. I only put more than 1 scout out there if I know the store is gonna generate at least $100 an hour per scout. The other thing is, it actually opens up a lot of opportunities on what a storefront can be. 100 bucks an hour is only about 6 sales, 1 every 10 minutes. You don't need to be at the best grocery store on the best Saturday of the sale or anything like that. We sell on the 7th Tuesday of the sale, right? 7 days a week we can be out there selling. People shop different days of the week. You're gonna run into different people. It's not as busy, but it's okay when you only need 6 sales an hour. And it opens up other opportunities. We sell at donut shops, diners, coffee shops, hardware stores, hobby stores, farmers markets. Anything can be a storefront opportunity if it has enough foot traffic to generate 6 sales an hour. I even set up at a realtor's office. Right? You think about it, there's no one walking in and out of that realtor's office. Any ideas why I set up there? Any guesses? The boys? Oh, employees? No, actually no. The office is small. They only have about 4 or 5 people working there.
For the realtor to give to their
It was next door to Starbucks. Starbucks said no, but man, that realtor's office, they were all about supporting local scouting, and we got a ton of foot traffic. So even in those situations when someone says no, and it's a busy spot, what about the place next door? Can you get enough foot traffic there for 6 sales an hour? Right? It opens up a lot of opportunities. The other thing about storefronts that I like, when we started, we're a brand new unit. We actually split off from an existing unit, so we started off with 33 boys, and we wanted to grow our program. And our school district is great, but we don't have the tradition of the back to school night with scouting and all of that, so we needed another way to recruit. And when we're teaching our scouts how to sell popcorn, we don't teach them, will you buy some popcorn? No, it's all about scouting. We are selling scouting. Recruiting is the exact same thing. I mean, if you think about it, our pitch to recruit is almost word for word the same as popcorn. You know, we talk about the camping and the adventures and scouting and all that. I just told my parents that when a family comes up to the table and they're buying popcorn from you, ask one extra question. Are you guys in scouting? If they're not interested, they'll let you know right away. But if they are, a conversation's gonna take off. I talk about how I went to this adventure weekend camp out, and it was great. There's a rock climbing wall. My son got to go in a canoe, BB guns and archery, and my son's talking to their scout about how he loved BB guns and all that stuff. And we've got flyers on the table, an interest list, all that stuff. Our first year, just from recruiting at those tables, we went from 33 scouts to over 100 scouts and referred scouts to other units. Last year we grew again, referred more. We're at 115 scouts in our program today, and we are 2 years old today. Right? 2 years, we're at 115 scouts. Actually, just realized that. It's a birthday. So everybody at the table is just a tremendous opportunity. But storefronts are not the only thing we do. We do a lot of personal sales, whether it's take order or what I call wagon sales, when you're going door to door with product. Friends, family, mom and dad's work, we do everything. Right? Everything is an opportunity for us. But we, again, do things a little bit different there, because I put popcorn in my scouts' hands as soon as possible. If they're interested in selling door to door, I want them to do that with product in their hand. For one reason, it's a lot easier to make the sale when you've got it right there with you. You know, I know when I open the door and I'm hungry, I'm a lot more likely to buy a food product if I don't have to wait 3 or 4 weeks to get it. You know, I want to buy that big bag of salted caramel, open it up, and start snacking right now. And the other thing is just about efficiency. I need my scouts to do 8 to 10 hours to hit that $1,000. That's 8 to 10 hours of sales. It can't be 5 hours of sales and 5 hours of delivering. They won't hit their goal. They don't see, again, they don't see the value when the sales start dropping that low relative to the hours of effort they put in. So if they've got the product in hand, they can do 8 to 10 hours of selling. The door-to-door rates for us, we found, are about the same. You can do about $100, $125 an hour door-to-door. I've talked to some of the top selling scouts in the nation. They hit the same thing. The number 2 selling scout last year, I talked to his dad. He said they did $133 an hour average door-to-door. Right, and that's number 1 in the nation. It's just a steady average that I see pretty much across the board. So it doesn't matter, storefronts, door-to-door, if you've got the product in hand, you can make the sales and save a whole bunch of time. The other thing, how many of you guys take the order form to your work and try and sell at the office? Decent number of people. One of the things I found is if you deliver the popcorn promptly, you oftentimes get more orders. I had this one dad that was a little crazy, brought the order form, left it in his break room, and after a whole week, he got 1 sale. And it was the little $10 caramel, right? Nothing big there. But he had checkout popcorn for selling door to door, so he brought it in, but he was smart. He delivered it on his way into their morning meeting and handed it over, and it got opened up, passed around the whole room. By the end of the meeting, the bag was empty. So the guy that bought it wanted to buy a second bag. 3 other people in the room ordered bags too. So a couple days later, he waited until they had another big meeting, delivered that popcorn, and the same thing happened. It gets opened up, passed around the office, it gets shared, people take it home, they finish it off, and they order another bag. He took a $10 order from the break room and turned it into $700 in orders at his office, just by always being able to re-deliver and kind of doing it intelligently. You know, and putting it in those situations where you know it's going to get opened up and shared because that meeting's roll around into the second hour and people are starting to get hangry, so that, you know, caramel corn gets opened up and passed around. And we've all been there. I mean, all of our coworkers hit us up for, you know, cookies or candy or whatever the school fundraiser is at the time. I don't feel that guilty asking them to support my kids too. It's just what we do is the right thing, and at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity. And then we do blitz days. Just quick show of hands, how many people know what a blitz day is? Okay, maybe a quarter. Perfect. For us, a blitz day is getting all of our scouts together to go sell in the neighborhoods. We do our blitz day at the end of the sale, with the goal being to sell the last bit of inventory that we're hanging on to, because I don't want to return anything to my council. I don't want to have to drive anything back there. For us, it's like a 45-minute, hour-long drive in traffic. So I'm not going to return anything. We'll blow it all on a blitz day. But I make ours a little bit of fun. Bring a bunch of popcorn over, get all our scouts to the park, and we, I kind of treat it like Amazing Race. I break them all up into dens. Every den gets a map of a neighborhood to go sell in, right? And they get an allotment of popcorn and counts them down, you know, 3, 2, 1, go! And they all go off and run into their neighborhoods, and they go sell popcorn for a couple hours. I've got some prizes for whichever den sells the most or sells out first or what have you. Bring it back to the park. We do a little potluck picnic lunch. It's still pretty hot in October for us, so we do a lot of ice cream sandwiches for the kids and things like that. It's a little mini party to close out our sale. It's on the last day of our sale, but really the goal there is just sell the last bit of inventory that we're hanging on to. Online sales is the next method. And this one, to be honest with you, I was terrible our first year. My whole pack, as much popcorn as we sold almost nothing online. And I see all the great numbers from Trails End. You know, the average scout, or the average order was like $73 last year. The average scout, once they're selling online, does about $200 in online sales. which sounds amazing because I never have to touch that popcorn. I've carried a lot of corn in and out of my house. I like the idea of not carrying corn, but I was just terrible at it. Now, we do have new Facebook groups going. How many of you guys are on the popcorn community group? I'd like to see all the hands. If you didn't raise your hand, talk to me after this. I'll get you on the Facebook group because it's all about sharing ideas. We've got about 5,500 scouters on there now sharing their ideas. I want to get you guys on there to share your ideas, but also learn, because I do a lot of learning on this group. And what I found out is the online sale really boils down to two things. Your scouts have to have accounts, because if they don't have an account, they can't sell online. Simple as that. So last year, I brought my laptop, had a couple of leaders do the same thing into our kickoff, and every family on their way in created their account. So step one's done, every family's got an account, they can sell online. Step two is they have to share. Because no one finds that fundraising page by accident. It's not like I do a Google search and find little Timmy's fundraising page. You have to share and ask for support. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
You have families that have as a whole, like I've got a million kids, so I have two in this unit. So do they just split the sales between each other, or do we set up accounts for each family?
I would set up an account for each scout, but most of my families record all sales under one scout, and I divide it 50-50 between them. Or I've got a couple families with 3 scouts in the program, and divide it evenly between them at the end towards prizes and scholarship and things like that. Yeah.
You said are you having you as the leader, or are you having you working with trails and
Me as the leader.
are you having the option to do that? Because in the past we haven't had the option as a leader to go in and make admin changes to the accounts.
You cannot make admin changes to a scout's account. However, you can edit sales for an account, including online sales this year. So if you get, what happens a lot of times is with an online sale, say grandma buys something from 3 states away, but wants to buy something from both scouts that are in the program but can't because they're only going to buy one thing. Well, now you as the Popcorn Colonel this year can take one online sale, split the credit between 2 scouts. So that's going to be something new. So sharing. Yeah, the sales only happen by sharing. Sharing is usually social media, Facebook, apparently LinkedIn works really well. Email, texting, it doesn't matter. You share it to your group. Somebody's bound to support you. We support their kids too. What Trails Inn told me is if your scouts share on 2 platforms, on average, they get at least 1 sale. And that made the light bulb go off for me. That's when I got it. So I came up with this idea of sharing Sunday. Every Sunday I sent out an email blast to the pack and reminded them to share online. And I asked them to share twice. Now I'm thinking if they do this, then every scout shares twice every week. On average, I'll get at least 1 sale per scout. I got 100 plus scouts in the program. That's a lot of sales every week. It's $73 a sale. And that's a lot of corn I never had to touch. I didn't get 100% participation, and certainly not for every week of the sale. But last year we went from almost nothing to over $5,000 in online sales, which I thought was pretty good. This year, now that we have that momentum, I think the sale is going to go up to about $10,000 online. And all I have to do is make sure my scouts have accounts and remind them to share on 2 platforms every week. Simple as that. This next one, motivating scouts. This we actually get to have a lot of fun with. We have a huge popcorn kickoff. It replaces one of our pack meetings. How many of you guys do some sort of fun popcorn kickoff, get the unit going? Yes, okay. A lot of people, that's good. You get a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, share a lot of information. Our kickoff starts with the basics, the products, the prices, the dates, but we get through that in about 3 minutes. It's going in an email anyway. They're going to get the information, and I've got to get to the exciting stuff as fast as I can. So we get through that, and then I start talking about our year of scouting. What do we have coming up ahead? All right, what is this popcorn fundraiser going to pay for? So we've got a slideshow, shows all the campouts we're going to go to, a reminder of the Pinewood Derby, and a little picture of last year's winner, and the Christmas party, and blue and gold, and all that stuff. We show them this amazing year of scouting that is waiting for them once they finish the popcorn sale. All right, and then I start talking about the prizes. And our first page of the prize sheet pops up, and the scouts see, the Nerf guns and the Lego sets or what have you, and they're getting excited, wiggling around in their chairs a little bit. Then the second page, the prize sheet comes up, with the big prizes, and now I've got a couple kids that are literally jumping up and down with excitement, yelling, I want the Xbox, or I want a bike, or anything like that. They're freaking out. They're getting loud and rowdy, and I'm kind of feeding into it. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? They're going crazy, and mom and dad are getting annoyed because they can't hear me anymore, and that's okay. You want that excitement. You want that fun. And once I got that energy from my scouts, I asked them all to stand up, follow my Cub Master outside. All right, get out of here. On their way out, every scout gets a copy of the prize flyer. They go outside and they play fun, cheesy little popcorn games, relay races and other silly stuff. The Facebook groups, again, a great resource to find some fun games for the scouts to play. And I stay inside and I get to talk to mom and dad and convince them, why are we selling popcorn? What is the value? And that 8 to 10 hour commitment for a free year of scouting, especially once they've just seen what that year looks like, it goes a long way. We get a lot of participation just from that because they see the value. All right, but then I hit them really hard on why are we in scouting in the first place? We're not a camping club or social hour. Scouting is a character development program. And a fundamental tenet of scouting is that a scout earns their own way. I did my den leader training. I see the scout does some extra chores around the house or what have you and earns money and puts that in the den dues envelope and they turn that in every month. Those little manila envelopes they sell at the scout shop? Who here has ever seen one of those used? 2 out of 80. All right, who here has seen mom and dad just write a check because it's easier? Like 78 out of 80, right? Mom and dad just write a check because that's what's easier, but that's not what the scouts are supposed to learn. They're supposed to learn to earn their own way. You got a question?
I have a question. My dad, every kid pays his own way.
Yep.
Popcorn sales.
Exactly. That's what I love it. I don't know if you guys heard me say, in fact, every scout pays their own way with popcorn. That's exactly right, because they can. And if you do the simple math, if a scout is out there selling $100 an hour-ish in popcorn, they're bringing in over $30 an hour for the unit. That's more than a lot of us make. And it's incredible that a scout can go out there and earn that type of money to pay for their program. $30-some an hour, right? But on top of that, they're learning all these other lessons, the salesmanship, even just the perseverance. Because when they're out there, they get told no again and again and again. And they learn to overcome all of that, stop hiding behind dad's hip, get in front of the table, and keep asking for support and keep growing their sale. Earning their way. They learn so many lessons from popcorn. My package basically made it a requirement to work at least 2 shifts just because of the values they learn and the skills they learn. And that gets our parents buying in, and once they do, oh, yeah.
Earn their way. We want them to learn the values. We don't want to just give them things like, nowadays everybody gets a trophy for everything, right?
Yeah.
So no, earn your way. How do you deal with those parents without having any, animosity towards us?
And I get the animosity part. For us, it was a little bit easy because we were a brand new pack and we built this into our culture from day one. Changing the culture is a little bit tougher. But our committee believed in this so much that the bylaws that we adopted say that a scout has to participate in the sale. Right? It's a requirement because it's an expectation that they learn these lessons. Now, I'm not saying they have to go sell $1,000, but it says they have to participate meaningfully in some way. So they have to go out and do their best, learn and earn, because there's a lot of values there. And we're very open and upfront with that with everyone that joins our unit. They're aware that we sell popcorn, that we require some level of participation because of the values they learn. And that's a great time to have that conversation when people join, because we get to share why. People are joining because it's a values organization. We're talking about the values and lessons they learn, right? So we get a lot of buy-in from that. And then we're honest. If you're not interested in that and you'd rather just write a check, there are a lot of scouting units in our city. And I'll give you a list, you can call around. Not all of them have the same popcorn requirements that we do. All right, and I don't mind sharing that information because every pack is different. Every troop is different. And it may be, that there's a better fit for every scout. That's great because it's going to keep them in the program if they find the unit that works best for them. But this is what works for us. We've got 115 kids in the program now that are all in on this and learning those lessons. Did I say a question over here?
Well, I've got a question that you had mentioned about the Scouts' experience with the word no. And I happen to believe that the word no is a very important experience for children. But Scouting is fun with a purpose. We turned this into a game because my scout found out very early on, my second scout, that he was getting a lot of no's. And I started doing the math on it, and I found out that it's an average of about 10 no's for every yes. So he counts his no's. And he knows that once he gets done with all of his fingers, he's really close to getting a sale, and he gets excited about it. And that's one way that I motivated him. He has other challenges, and that was a way to turn a negative into a positive for him.
I agree. I don't know if everyone was able to hear that, but the idea that hearing no for a kid is extremely important. And I have the same average. It's about 10 no's for every yes. And I've seen a lot of heads nodding. I think that's a pretty good average for our scouts, particularly in front of the storefronts. It's about 10 no's for every yes. And the idea that you count the no's, and once you get to about 10, you know you're getting close to that next sale. It's fun. I even have a couple of kids in my program that are special needs that they don't count no's or yeses or sales. It's conversations. How many people did I say hi to today? I thought, how cool is that, right? You're just talking about how many people you got to talk to today. Earning your program is a side benefit of that experience. That's really neat. And all of this stuff, that's what gets my parents buying in. Once I've got them buying in and believing, and I have that conversation, it's a very open, frank conversation. There's Q&A, ask me anything you want, right? That's why we have the kids outside. You can have that, earn their buy-in. Then we bring the scouts back in and start to close out the night. Wrap everything up with a quick recap and then say, hey, one more thing before you guys go home. And actually for you guys too, if you guys take away anything from all these best practices, our top seller pledge is the key to our success our first year. And we put it up on the screen. I've got some printed copies on the stage, and it's really simple. It says, I promise to do my best to sell $2,500 or more in popcorn. And I picked that, it's a big number, I heard the whistle. The reason I pick it is they get a big prize, and they get the Trails Ends College Scholarship, and it cost me nothing from my commission. So there's a lot of value there that I can throw at them. It attracts the parents with the scholarship, the scouts with the prizes, they buy in, they see it, and I throw out one more offer. So if you guys come up on stage and sign this pledge tonight, now mom and dad have to sign it too, because you guys are going door to door, going to the stores, but if you sign it tonight, you get to pie face a leader right now before you go home. All right, my kids explode. I mean, we've all seen it. They love that type of silly stuff. And to be honest, at that point, the parents really want to see the kids throw a lot of pies at me. All right, they were for it too. Our first year, we thought we'd have 5, maybe 6 scouts sign that pledge. We had 19 families come up on stage and sign that pledge. It's a lot of pie. We get the Costco Ready Whip cans. Best value there, paper plates. But that was amazing. And all 19 of those hit their goal of 2,500 or more that year. Last year, we changed it up. We offered not only the top seller level, but a crazy seller level, where if you pledge for 5,000 or more, you get 3 pies to pie face a leader. All right. Now that was even more popular than the top seller level. I think we had 17 crazy sellers and 12 top sellers last year. Now not every kid actually hit that $5,000 goal. We called it crazy seller for a reason. It's a crazy amount of popcorn. It is a big goal. But it wasn't even necessarily about them hitting the goal. It's about them having that goal. Even just hearing the number, $2,500, and seeing scouts buy in and say they can do it, changed the mind of everyone else in the room. That $1,000, 8 to 10 hours, doesn't sound so scary anymore. And you get everyone pumped up and excited with something really fun and silly with the whole pie face thing. And we get the whole unit actually pumped up, excited about popcorn. And all that excitement, all the momentum, all the pledge, the goals and all that, cost us about $20 in whipped cream and paper plates. It was the best investment our pack ever made. It's just a bunch of whipped cream. And I know we've been throwing out questions, but any questions on best practices Or did we cover it all? We good? Oh, question in the back.
I don't have a question, but you're talking about
That. It's got credit card processing built right in, but it is actually built with Square technology, so you can use Square readers with the Trailsend app. I'm sure most of you guys are already selling at some sort of storefront right now. I used signup.com my first year. Maybe you guys are using that or Signup Genius or Clipboard signups or what have you. This app has storefront scheduling built right in, so your parents look at the app, find the shifts that work best for them, sign up for it. It automatically adds it into their iPhone or Android calendar. That way they don't forget and no-show. And I see your question. This technology stuff, I get a ton of questions about this. Most of them get answered on the very next slide. So for this part, I'll ask if you guys can hold questions till the end. I'll do a Q&A, and if I get thrown out for time, I'll stay here for hours and answer questions all day long. Sorry, just let me run through it because there's a lot on this stuff. This is a game changer, honestly. So storefront scheduling, baked right in, and because it does everything all in one place, it does your tracking for you. Your scouts can look at the app, they can see their sales, they can see their inventory, they can share their online page right from the app, they see their next storefront. It is all right there. And it's not new. My unit used it last year along with 190 others. As a group, we had 2,300-ish scouts using the app, just under 2 million in sales, and we grew by 26% as a group. Our sale grew 26%, but I'm sure what's really jumping out, big bright red, is 100% free. There's no monthly fee, there's no annual fee, and there are no credit card fees with this app. So if you are taking a credit card sale, you swipe it for 20 bucks, you get $20 in credit. There are no fees at all. It's 100% free. Pretty cool, right? Now I said if you swipe it, if you guys don't have Square readers, no problem. Everyone in here sold at least 5,000, so you guys are gonna get a free reader. If you sold 10,000 or more, you get 5 free readers, and for every increment of 10,000, you get another 5 free readers. So if you sold 50,000, you're getting 25 readers coming your way. So there's a lot of readers coming out. If you have some top-selling scouts who sold 3,500 or more, they get their own readers shipped right to them as well. But your scouts don't need readers to take the sales. You know, if you've got, like me, 100 scouts going door to door, if you don't have enough readers for everyone, no problem. They can type those credit card numbers in instead of swiping the cards. And I know some of you are thinking, hey, wait, there's usually like a 1% extra fee when you type instead of swipe it. No fee. It is still free, 100% free all the time. So that means your scouts can take credit cards anytime, anywhere. There's no fees. There's no reason not to anymore. And that's really where a lot of that 26% growth came from. The groups the units that use the app grew by 26% on average, right? It came from the credit cards. Because when our scouts are going door to door, or they're at the storefront, the most common excuse or objection that we hear on why someone can't buy popcorn, I don't have any cash, right?
We take a car.
Exactly. Oh, that's okay. I can take a credit card. You know. Exactly. And you know, if they're walking out of a store, if they don't have cash, they have a credit card, right? So all those people, they're coming over to the table and they're buying something. And what we found is they actually buy more. And what happened, Forbes did a study a couple years ago, and roughly half the people today leave their homes with less than $20 in cash in their wallets. So let's just do a fun little game. Who here, raise your hand if you have more than 20 bucks in cash on you right now. So I got 2, there's maybe 5, 6, 10. We got a lot over there. Wow, we're probably at about 40, maybe 50% of the room. So pretty close to the Forbes study. So that means the other half of you, you don't get to buy microwavable butter popcorn. You don't have enough cash. All right, that's the real experience our scouts have at the table. That's why the $10 product sells so well. Sometimes that's all people have on them. But when you take credit cards, the customer's no longer limited by the cash in their wallet. They're only limited by their desire to support. And it's pretty crazy how much some people will support your scouts, right? Especially when you phrase it that way. You know, support your scouts instead of buying popcorn. All right? And that's what we saw. The average credit card sale last year through this app was 20% larger than the average cash sale. So not only are you getting more sales when you use the app, you're getting bigger sales when you use the app. And that's where this growth is coming from. And the best part is it doesn't take any extra time on our part. And time is really what this app was built for. It actually wasn't designed to grow the sale. You know, the conversation I had with Trails End was about saving us time, making it easier. So in addition to the app itself, the Scouts are going to have a website that's redesigned where they can do a lot of the same features on the website or in the app. And as the Popcorn Kernel, you guys are going to have a website interface to manage the sale. I'm going to walk you guys through that real quick and then we'll do a Q&A. So when your Scouts log into the app or the website for the first time this year, they should get these 3 or 4 getting started steps. The first one is to set a goal. We want every Scout to have a goal in mind, a purpose. The next step is to get trained. And for that, we've got some training videos from some top-selling Scouts. That way, your Scouts have the tools they need to hit their goal. And the last 2 steps are just to set up and share their online page. That way, they get started selling right away, really easy. Once they do that, they get a dashboard. All right, if you guys used the website last year, this looks way different, right? A lot better. So they get a goal tracker there. It tells them how they're doing relative to their goal. A calendar that tells them what days they've already booked a storefront and what days their storefront's available. A news feed that tells them when big things happen, like an online sale comes in or something like that. Little tracking widgets down there, but overall the idea that this dashboard is just a snapshot of their sale. I log in and see, hey, this is how much I've sold so far, and this is when I'm working my next shift. And if they want more details, they can go to the sales face-to-face slide. Shows them all the storefront orders they've collected. They can book more storefront shifts on the website, just like they can in the app. And a big game changer there is on wagon customers. I don't know if you guys can read it, but there's a delivered and there's an undelivered option. So imagine your Scouts going door to door, pulling a little wagon load of popcorn, and somebody wants to buy a bag of salted caramel. No problem, you hand that bag over, swipe the card, thank you very much, have a wonderful evening. He says, you know what, I want a chocolate tin too. You don't have one in the wagon. No problem. You still punch in the order, swipe the card, you mark it as undelivered. You can store the person's name, address, phone number, email address, all of that right into the app. The parent, the Scout, they can check it in the app, they can check it in the website, and you as the Popcorn Kernel see all of those orders as they happen. You can pull a report that tells you what popcorn every Scout needs to fill those orders. You're no longer trying to track down the order forms and the cash and dealing with the dads like me that have terrible handwriting you can't read, or those order forms that get coffee spilled on them, or rained on, or ripped up, or lost, and then the Scout's holding an envelope, like $120 in cash. They don't know what it's for, or who it's for, or what to do. All those headaches go away. It's all saved right there for you. You guys will still get paper order forms, so if you want to use them, you can, but you can just put all that right into the app. Super easy, you're never going to lose the information. Also done a redesign for the online part. Right, shows the Scouts all the online sales that have come in. They can thank those customers, which every Scout should do. They can request more support, which is really neat. They can see their orders from last year online. They hit that more support button, and it sends a personalized email online of, hey, I really appreciate your support last year. I hope you like the trail mix. I'm trying to earn my way to summer camp this year, and the trail mix is back in stock, and I'd really appreciate your support. Here's a link to my fundraising page. That way the Scouts learn to build up that year-over-year business, right? They're learning those entrepreneurial lessons too. There's something new on here, the map. Shows you where the online orders ship out to. Right? It's pretty neat, about 80% of the online orders ship outside your council on average. But the real reason it's on there is Facebook. There's some people on Facebook that were talking about this promotion they did in their unit. It was a competition. Instead of asking their Scouts to be #1 in online sales by dollars, it was to be #1 by states. Whichever Scout collected the most orders from the most states won some sort of extra prize. I thought that was a cool way of looking at it. Right? Instead of just being, changing the conversation at home on, who do we know that's going to buy the most from me? It's who do we know in Idaho or Florida or Maine or California? It changed the conversation. I thought it was really neat. So you got that map baked right in there, so you can run a promotion like that. Your Scouts see where those orders are going. Scout Rewards. This is a new prize program. Chris is going to tell you more about that in a few minutes. But imagine what technology can do to change our prize system. Today, you have to communicate to your scouts how much they've sold. Then you have to collect all their prize orders. And we know that can be a bear. Right? And then we combine all those orders in one big order to our council. Those prizes come to us, and then we have to distribute them to our scouts. And you got that scout that was sick and missed a pack meeting, and then there was a swim meet, and then there was this, and now it's 4 months later, and you're still holding on to his prize. Or he never gave you a prize order and you just kind of picked and they're not happy. Or then the issues come up. The drone's propeller doesn't spin, or it looks bigger in the picture than it is in real life. Or the picture was a red one, I got a blue one, and red's my favorite color, give me the red one. How many of you are still holding on to some scout prize from last year's sale, right? This changes that. The app knows how much your scouts have sold because they report those sales. You as the leader, review all of your scout sales and say, yeah, that's right, submit. You're done. Your scouts claim their prizes directly from the website, it's shipped directly to them, and they can pick any prize they want out of about 500 million. And on average, it gets shipped in 2 days. So yeah, Amazon, that's right. Prizes can be fulfilled by Amazon. They can buy whatever they want with their Amazon gift card that they get sent right to them. So the prizes are going to be faster, easier, and better. Chris will tell you more about it in a few minutes, but it's an amazing program. It's actually based on what my pack learned. Over the past couple of years, we switched to a gift card-based program. I found my scouts like it better, my parents like it better. For me, I use it as a budget experience for myself.
Talk about, man.
Okay, all right.